Hello, Hong Kong fans. I'm Dr. John. I'm the founder of Noble Audio, and Noble Audio has been in existence a little over a decade now. But as far as how long have I been in this industry or this field, it's probably around 15 years now. So I'm one of the older ones, yeah. Yeah, so what the inspiration for the whole Prestige Encore was basically the Prestige. And what we did was we looked at the Prestige and thought what type of improvements could we do to it in order to make it better. And obviously we would have to look at what the customer response was to the Prestige. The reality was the Prestige customer response was really good, but obviously there needed to be some improvements made. I'll go into the inspiration of the name, and I guess we'll go into the improvements. But as far as the name goes, the word encore in English, and I realize encore is used a lot around the world, but when there's a musician on stage, usually a group of 2 or 3, but they're singing away, and at the end of their event, they leave, and then the audience yells encore, encore, encore. And really what that means is they're calling the musicians back in to sing some more because 1, they don't want to go home, and 2, they're having a great time. But usually what happens during the encore, the musicians will come out, they may sing 3 to 5 more songs. Usually within that set of songs, one of them will be a song that they're going to release in a new album on the way. And that song is usually, no one's aware of it. So this is the first time the audience gets to hear this new song. And it's usually a hit. So it's a real fun time period, the encore session, because it means I want more and give me something new. And we feel that really represents what we've done with the Encore Prestige, is we've given you more of the same plus more, and some new items as well. As far as the new aspects or characters of this product or features, we were able to go in and get ANC into it. We've got LDAC on it as well. Other than that, the physical attributes, while the wood looked good on the original Prestige, it's very hard to work with because as you're CNCing it, there's something called chip outs, and that type of wood, in English we call it knots, and basically you would hit a section of burl or something like that, and the CNC bit would hit it and you'll get a divot or a chip out. Basically, if you play golf, you swing and you hit the grass and you cut out a little divot, and that's what would happen. It would divot out a piece of wood, and when that happens, it makes the finishing project or process so much more involved because you have to fill in the divot, you have to wait till it dries, fill it in again, on and on. It's quite a process. So with this type of wood that we used, it's called laminated, but what it is basically, I don't know how many layers of wood, but it could be several hundred, but they're about as thin as a credit card. And each layer of wood, you put down a layer of glue. So you put down glue, layer, glue, layer, glue, layer. And the other key or crucial thing when you're dropping that wood down or laying it down, the wood fibers are crossed each other. So you'll have fibers running horizontal and then fibers running vertical. So once you've done that, and then you take a hydraulic press and you push it down, it causes those fibers to lock together, much like a braided rope, and it compounds the strength quite a lot. So what that means to you or the owner is if you were to drop it, it's not going to shatter. It's much stronger than the original Prestige. So that's that. The other thing about that process of layering is that there's so much glue involved that when you CNC it, you don't get the divots, you don't get the chip outs. So it makes the finishing project or process a lot faster for us, a lot more stable. Something else we did was, if you notice, it's quite a difference, is that the nozzle on the original Prestige is wood, whereas on the Prestige Encore, it's actually a CNC metal. And if you also notice, there's three, it's almost like a Mercedes-Benz pattern of holes. Those are vent holes. The Prestige, the original Prestige, the all wooden one, we only had one vent hole. And and again, it's all wood, there was no metal. And as you lacquered it, sometimes the lacquer would get down into that vent, and that would cause all kinds of problems. You have to start all over. It was a big challenge to work with it that way. So we came back with the CNC nozzle with the vents in the nozzle itself. You don't have to lacquer the metal, so you're not going to have that problem. The benefit of having multiple vent holes is that if you only had one and you plugged it up, well, then that's going to change the sound quality. This way, you plug up one, and how do you plug it up? It's through debris that your ear tissue or skin, whatever residue gets in there. But if you plug up one, it's still going to sound the same. You plug up two, it's essentially the same. You plug up three, well, then that's going to be a problem. But it's a rare event, and you can take a little personal care. And what you do is you take it, you turn it like this, the nozzle pointing down, take a dry toothbrush and just scratch those little vents, and you're good to go. So we've done the nozzle, we've done the wood. Something else that we changed was the USB charge port. On the Prestige, original Prestige, you had to have an extended length on the USB. We had an adapter, or you could find one through Google and find one that already had a longer insert jack, if you will. This one, the Prestige Encore, you don't need that at all. Just any random USB that you find, charge cable that you can find anywhere will handle that. So that's an improvement. The other improvement was that the housing of the Prestige original versus the housing of the Prestige Encore, the original was larger. So this is actually smaller. It'll fit more ears, especially with the smaller nozzle. It's going to be able to give you a better insertion depth. And because of that, it's going to stay in the ear. Ear retention is better. Sound quality, that of course I feel is better as well. It's a one dynamic driver plus. As far as the internal makeup of the Prestige Encore, it's one DD, two BA, and one planar. Yeah, total of four drivers. And the planar gives it a nice crisp sound because of the speed that the planar has. The charge case is actually smaller as well than the original. It's not tremendously smaller, but it is smaller. So I hope I covered that. Yeah. Well, the reality is ANC does affect the sound, but you can turn off the ANC or turn it back on. When you tune it, you try to tune it to where the effect is least as possible. But the reality is, yeah, there's still going to be some impression, if you will, to a certain extent. But again, that's the reason why you can turn it off and turn it back on, whichever you'd like. Yeah. So that, if you want to call it a problem, it's still there. It's kind of a trade-off. You have to decide what you want. You want to use the ANC or not, you know. For me, myself, I usually use ANC, to be honest, just because I'm using it in a lot of times public settings, right? So yeah, I usually just run in ANC mode. That's a very difficult question to answer, really, because every change that we made was important to it. Oh, okay, so basically you're asking me to fit each product for each person, that type of thing. Who would want what and why? Yeah, so I've been a member of Head-Fi for, wow, almost when Head-Fi as a website started. And there are certain sectors of Head-Fi where people are, for example, some people love wired, and they all go to the wired end of the group. And there'll be a TWS sector. And there's also a sector that totally believe in dynamic drivers, okay? They believe that that's the most analog experience, the most real sound you can get. and wonderful bass response, this type of thing. That type of person, I think, would be happy to have an Amadeus, right? Because it is. It's a high-tech driver, dynamic driver, and it gives you those nice sound qualities that only a dynamic driver can give you. All right, so that's the Amadeus. Then you have the Rex5. That's a very tech-driven type product. I don't want to say it's soulless, but that was we knew it was going to be something we could build fast in the assembly line, the way it's built, because we're not using wood, for example. We don't have to CNC something, and we don't have to worry about the finishing process. There's no hand involvement with the finishing process. So it could be built very fast and also very reliable. You didn't have to worry about lacquer and how it was going to dry and will it dry properly and these types of things. So if you want a product that is high tech and is very consistent, and I don't want to call it soulless, but in America we have one saying where we build things the right way with our hands, and the Encore is something that you really put a lot of effort into. To make something with your hands and to make it consistently and to make it 95% accurate or perfect, it's a very difficult process. In the lab, we would show off our work, right? Build something just beautiful. And we'd show it to our lab partner and say, look what I did. And they would say, okay, now do it again. Do it again. Because that's the real challenge. The real challenge is not just doing it once right, it's doing it twice right, doing it 3 times right, doing it all day right. That's the challenge. And that's the people that appreciate artisanal work and hand craftsmanship. Those are the target people for the Encore. Yes, I know it's more expensive than the Amadeus or the Rex5. And truthfully known, there's some people that say the Rex5 is better than the Encore and vice versa. And there's actually some people that say the Amadeus is the best value product out there, and it'll compete just right as well as the Rex5. Again, I think we have something for everyone. My friend is a guy I grew up with in my hometown. He contacted me, and he asked for an Amadeus. And this friend of mine, I grew up with him. He could have asked for anything, and I'd given it to him. But did I say he wanted Amadeus? I'm sorry if I said that. He wanted the Encore Prestige, and that's because he's more into handmade products. Could have asked for anything, but he wanted the Encore. Honestly, I think the division is going to become more gray, really. That's what I think is going to happen. What I mean is the division's not very clear anymore. As technology increases, I think that TWS is getting really good in the sound quality aspect. Where the hang up is, well, part of it is, it's almost like how do you say, because with the TWS, one of the biggest factors is you have to sell it as fast as possible because the batteries will give up in 2 years' time or so. And due to that, you load them full of technology because that's what the customer base wants, and great sound, of course, but you got to sell it as fast as possible, which means that you've got to have prices that are more affordable, if you will, compared to an IEM. There's no shelf life on an IEM. You can take something with 10, 12 drivers and put it on the shelf 6 months. It's going to sound like it will at age 2 months or age 8 months, doesn't matter. So you have to be concerned about that. But I think in the future though, as technology changes, I think it's going to become more and more gray, not as clear as what the division is. Quite possibly we're going to see cabled IEMs turn much more like vinyl is today. Very retro, and the purists will insist on a cabled product. But there's no denying that TWS is all over the place. You'll see age groups from, age 10 to age 75. You walk in any restaurant, in a Hong Kong restaurant, you'll see any age group, you'll see any sex group, male, female, doesn't matter. They all have TWS of some sort. You can't say that about wired. So it's TWS is here to stay, and I'm glad that we got involved with it at as early as we could in 2018. All right, so the question is, I was asked to find 3 songs that I use to evaluate the sound quality of a product. Honestly, 3 songs is too narrow, but I'll go ahead and pull out 3 of the many. And actually, one of the 3 was supposed to be Cantonese. Truth be known, the singer, I believe, is from Hong Kong, but the song that I like is sung in Mandarin. Now, he does sing it in Cantonese as well, but I don't speak Cantonese. Now, I do speak a little Mandarin and enough to understand the words of the song, and I think the words are quite powerful. So anyways, one of the songs that I'm pulling up is Wolf Larson is the singer, and the song is called If I Be, If I Be. Well, that's one of the 3. It's got, of course, her voice is quite beautiful, actually, to say the truth. And I believe there's guitar going on. I'm more of an acoustical type music type fan in the first place. That might be why my tuning kind of leans toward an analytical type sound quality. But if you listen to the Amadeus, you'd think I'm a bass head, so it's okay. So that's one song. Now this it's a group called London Grammar, and the singer of the group is a female. But why I go into this song is because the bass is quite thick, and I like to hear the bass response of the product. Here we go. London Grammar, Californian Soil, London Grammar. So I like that song because you don't have to wait very long for the bass to kick in. It's about 30 seconds, it goes right on in. That's that, yeah. It's got quite a bit of dynamic range to it too. Good bass, good highs. Now my little table speaker there can't really capture the fidelity of it, but I encourage you guys to check this out if you would. And then the last one would be the Cantonese song, or Mandarin I should say. And I probably don't need to introduce this fella here, but I think this song was released in the 90s, and at that time period I lived in Taiwan, and it has a whole lot of meaning to me. Yeah, so that's the song. Actually, he as an artist is quite amazing as well, but that's my favorite one of his.